A very poor pass there to Cliff Morgan. A chance there for Scotland. It's a score! It's a score for Scotland.
To Michael, out to Tomes. Tomes out to Lawson. Lawson must score for Scotland. What a try.
The kick ahead by Edwards. Can he score? It would be a miracle if he could. He may well get there. And he has.
Logan cutting inside. He's almost up to the 22. Gets it on there to Peters. Peters for one of the great tries. That was one of the tries of the championship.
He is different. He is something to everybody. And there's no doubt about it. He is, to say he's tops would be an understatement.
This is Schneemann out there to Montgomery. It's a magnificent try. Scots short-handed, but what a score.
I think that Bill has probably done more to promote the game of rugby than any single player or any administrator. You know, he's been involved in the game for over 40 years. He's universally popular from the valleys of Wales to the borders of Scotland to the high veld of South Africa and the mud in New Zealand. I mean, he's just loved throughout the game. And I think he's so well respected that he's probably done more to promote the game than any other single individual.
Iolupo with the restart. Up there goes Vaifale. But again, the ball working back there. Waki goes after it, and it's a burst-away try for Alefayo. Well, this is turning into some final, isn't it?
Well, I think he's got a warmth about him. I think he's got enormous respect from the players because of his knowledge of the game, and also that he's always puts either the individual performance or the team performance over in a positive light. You never hear him being critical, but people respect him because he really knows his game. And he's a tremendous professional. You know, you've only got to look at his preparation notes to see the detail that he goes into for every single game. And that's why he's a superb professional and you know, the leading rugby commentator of our generation.
Good scrummage ball for Australia. Hindmarsh, Byrne on the dummy run. In comes Paul McLean. The interception for Ian McGeechan. McGeechan tackled by Hipwell. Gives it to Rennie. Rennie, can he get to the line? Across comes Paddy Batch, and it's a try for Rennie.
There'll be an awful lot of people out there whose the main reason they know anything about rugby at all is because of that very distinctive voice. I don't know, you can't evaluate that, can you? I mean, it's worldwide.
Shield out there to Scott Hastings. Derek Stark is away again. Beautifully out to Tony Stanger. Stanger is going for the corner. Stanger must score. A marvellous try by Tony Stanger. His 15th try for Scotland. He comes up.
The voice of rugby, Bill McLaren, at his best commentating at Murrayfield. He was born in the Scottish border town of Hawick in the very heart of rugby country. Like many others, McLaren's father worked in the textile industry, which provided an industrial centre and employment in this rural community.
My father came from the west of Scotland but became a rugby convert, and he really introduced me to rugby football and encouraged me in it. I had a friend of my father's who had a house overlooked the pitch, and he used to come out and shout, "Use your left foot, Billy, use your left foot." So rugby's been very much a dominant factor, really. My father used to remind me that when I was about 7, 8 and 9, when he came round the edge of Salisbury Avenue from work, there would I be sitting there doing commentary, and 4 or 5 of my pals doing this hurdle race, jumping over, you know, dustbins and things like that I'd created to make this hurdle race. And so there again, there obviously must have been something in the background that made me want to communicate or to commentate in some way or other.
One of Bill's earliest memories is of watching Jack Manchester's 1935 All Blacks at Mansfield Park. They went on to beat Scotland in the first international of that tour.
Scotland opened confidently, and a splendid breakthrough by Dick sends Fife over for a try in the corner. But the New Zealanders are a greatly improved side. Teamwork and fine backing up put them on top. Here's one of their tries by Hadley. Scotland fight back with great gallantry, and with the score 13-3 against them in the second half, Dick goes over. A fast and thrilling match ends in a well-deserved win for the All Blacks by 18-8.
In 1939, though, the dark clouds of war descended over Europe. Rugby was to pale into insignificance.
When I was in Italy during the war, you know, a lot of occasions when you were frightened, because, I mean, things were whizzing about, and, you know, you were trying to dig yourself into as big a whole as you could get, and things like that. But generally speaking, you just got on with it. The British Army's like that, isn't it?
McLaren fought at Monte Cassino, one of the world's bloodiest theatres. Before this year's International in Rome, he went back for the first time with his family.
I was called up when I was 18. I was about 20 years old when we were here. Cassino is renowned as one of the great battles of the war. It was something to be here and to be part of it, you know. It was just such a desperately difficult place to fight in. Just looking around here, there are areas, how they managed to break down defence of areas where all the advantages were with the German troops is quite extraordinary. You have tremendous respect and regard for the infantrymen because they were the real heroes of Cassino. I'm glad we've come. I'm glad I've climbed all those beaten stairs because it brings back all those memories, you know. And
I think of all the people who were killed in
sure.
It's a sadness.
Yeah. This is the first time I've been up here, and it'll be the last. But it's been a wonderful experience, and I've enjoyed it.
After the war, he returned to Hawick and was in no doubt about the career he wanted to follow.
And away, come on now, burst out of there. Secure.
I wanted to be a teacher of physical education, and I always wanted to be that. I don't know why. I think perhaps because as a schoolboy, as a 17-year-old schoolboy, I played for Hawick as a centre, and my wing was Jimmy Ray, who was my PE teacher at Hawick High School. And you know, I thought a lot of him. I really got on so well with him. And so I don't know whether that had anything to do with it or not, but the fact that as a 17-year-old I was playing with Jimmy Ray helped me to develop as a rugby player. And I certainly always wanted to wear the green jersey, and it was a great thrill for me when I did. You know, although I had some experiences there as well. I tell you what, the things I got up to, I came out of training one night and I couldn't find my bicycle. I knew it was tied to the crossbar, Jimmy Lumsden and those guys, and that kind of thing.
Bill used to take all the local primary schools on a different afternoon, so it was always a real buzz. You knew you were getting rugby, and Bill McLaren was going to be there, and he was going to be taking the sessions. So it was just a big thrill, and everyone was desperate to impress. If he called you, mentioned you by name, it was a great one up on everyone else at the school.
That was a good rip away there. Well done, young Bell. Oh, that was splendid. First class.
One of the things about Bill McLaren, of course, is very difficult to identify because he seems to have been there forever. So identifying what the difference might be is a bit tricky at this perspective. But my generation must be because he was a confidence-giving individual. Even if you didn't think you understood anything about rugby, somehow Bill McLaren gave you the confidence to understand, to listen to what he was saying. And he was always the same. It was clear, it was interesting, and always unbiased. I mean, an incredible ability to maintain a balance throughout his commentary. But I think it gave confidence to people, wanted to watch and wanted to listen, and thought they were going to learn and appreciate the game.
That's all right, one against the head, Chisholm. That's a nasty one for Wilson. Jackson staring up. Wilson in trouble. It's a try. Grant. Chisholm, the drop goal, is it there? Yes!
There are some areas where I think that a Scottish voice is expected, if you see what I mean. And he has certainly made that true in rugby. So that impact is, thanks to television particularly, is genuinely worldwide. I mean, that's the voice that they expect to hear if people watch rugby. And whether they believe or not that because of that preeminence of that voice that, of course, Scotland invented the game, I'm not quite sure, but certainly it's transferred the influence of Scottish rugby, I suspect, wider than it would otherwise have been.